Folks, it is week number 8 of Dana White's Contender series. We've got a pretty good card this week. It's interesting because we've got some things that have been shuffled around from previous weeks. We've got, some fights that have been changed, but here we are. We originally had 6 fights for this week, but one of them just fell out, thankfully, because it was a horrible fight. But here we are for week number 8 of Dana White's Contender series, and we hope to replicate our success from week number 7. So, let's talk about this matchup. It's a matchup in the bantamweight division where Jourdain, someone whose last name you might be familiar with, the brother of Charles Jourdain, he comes into this fight 8-3 in his career, 4-1 in his last 5 fights, and he takes on Magno Diaz. Diaz is 6-1 on the career, 4-1 in his last 5 fights. So, interesting matchup because both guys have had pretty good success as of late, 4-1, both of them. Both guys have very different styles. When we look at the Diaz side, we're going to start over there. Decent striker. Just decent. He's more of a grappler. He's a decent striker. He comes forward, he throws power. But the problem is, sometimes he has trouble closing that distance. Opponents are able to use their footwork to get away. He struggles to really track guys down. Sometimes it's because he's just following them and throwing these shots rather than cutting off the cage and then cornering his opponents and being able to get his grappling going. That's what he wants to do, right? He is a good grappler. He's got decent takedowns. They're not fantastic, but they're decent, and they're good enough to typically get people to the ground after he, goes for a couple of them, especially at the level of competition he's fought so far. So he's been able to get guys down. He immediately starts working to advance his position once he gets, not immediately. First, secures his position, then starts working to advance. However, sometimes he gets a little sub-happy. He has a very diverse sub-arsenal, and he's going to chase these submissions. But when he does that, when he gets a little bit excited for the submissions, sometimes he can lose position, and that's where the top pressure kind of fails him. He does have good top pressure if he just decides to stick to what he's doing, like doesn't try to move, but he loses these spots, not so much when he's advancing position, but more when he's trying to look for that finish, and that's where you can see him lose his position. I do think that could be a problem for him here, but I also think that this is probably his best path to victory, is to try to get takedowns, work for the submissions, or even just rinse and repeat takedowns, honestly. When we look at the other side for Jourdain, he's going to be the better striker here, technically. He doesn't have like a lot of one-shot power or anything, but he can put guys away with his attritional style. He's a very good striker of either stance. He's got good counter-striking ability. He puts together really nice combinations. He kicks to all levels, and he has a variety of kicks. You got your front kicks, your roundhouse kicks, your whatever, your side, all these things. He will mix them up, spinning kicks, whatever. He can put it all together. He's got good knees up the middle, and he works the body very well in addition to all those things. So there's a lot to like in the striking. Like I said, he just doesn't have one-shot power typically. That's the one drawback for him, right? Grappling, pretty good. Problem is his defense. Takedown defense is not great. He does scramble really well, though, so he often is able to create space and get back to his feet. But he does get taken down. If he ends up on top or creates a scramble and he's like in that like half position where somebody's trying to pull him down, they're holding onto a leg and whatever, he starts throwing some pretty good ground and pound. His ground and pound is legit. He looks for good spots. He doesn't just like end up hitting the guard a whole lot. And by the guard, I mean not like the guard like your legs wrapped around them and you're in between there. It's the guard like protecting his face guard is what I meant. So he does a really good job at landing his shots in the ground and pound. When I look at this matchup specifically and who I think is going to win, I feel pretty good about a certain side, and that's Jourdain. The reason why. I think he's going to be able to keep this fight on the feet long enough to land his shots, and I think when he does get taken down, he's going to scramble and get to either top position or back to his feet, at least more often than not. So for me, Jourdain is the pick. I think he gets this one done, but let me know what you think in the comments. And if you've enjoyed this, maybe like the video on your way out, and check out the other videos on this playlist for week number 8 of Dana White's Contender series. It should have popped up on screen already, and I'll see you over there.